I have been playing Pokemon games for as long as I can remember. They were basically the only video games I played as a kid on my Game Boy and DS. I spent an ungodly amount of hours playing Fire Red and Ruby. They are nearly perfect games in my opinion. The recent Pokemon games, however, have fallen short, and I found myself searching for new monster taming games to scratch that same itch. What I love about Pokemon is the art of assembling a team of monsters that work well together. I used to spend hours training and swapping out different monsters with the goal of assembling the perfect team. A team that combines the right elemental types and battle mechanics to be able to defeat any opposing enemy. On top of that, I find the collecting side of Pokemon incredibly satisfying. The desire to gotta catch 'em all is something I love striving to achieve. Now, there are obvious game recommendations like Nexomon and Coromon, which follow the same basic formula of a Pokemon game. You catch and battle monsters, defeat gym leaders, and take down an evil group. These are great games to play. They put a new coat of paint on the same core gameplay of Pokemon. But I would rather give some less obvious recommendations. These games have taken inspiration from Pokemon, but then have added fresh and new ideas to the monster taming genre. First is Cassette Beasts. You wash ashore on a mysterious island called New Whirl and learn you are stuck here because there is no way of returning to planet Earth. You learn to use cassette tapes to record monsters in the wild. Once you've recorded a monster, then you can play the tape in your cassette player to transform in battles. You encounter various NPCs who you can select to become your travel companion and battlemate. Each NPC has their own storyline to progress. There is an evil group, of course, which is a gang of vampires who run a corrupt real estate agency, which is hilarious. They will pitch their shady investment opportunities to you and try to convince you to take out ill-advised loans with their company. Of course, you need to infiltrate their headquarters and defeat the vampire realtors in monster battles to get them to stop. In terms of gameplay, I find the battling system to be much more interesting than in Pokemon. For example, you always compete in doubles battles, which adds an extra element of strategy. Your monsters gain AP throughout battles, which is basically an energy bar. The more AP you have, the more powerful moves you can use. Instead of typing strengths and weaknesses, this game instead uses buffs and debuffs. And on top of all that, you can fuse monsters together to become more powerful. The game also has platforming elements, which was fun. This is something we've never seen in a Pokemon game. Once you collect certain monsters, you can use their abilities to traverse the map. Once you capture Dominoth, you can use wings to glide around. Once you catch Bulletino, you can dash around the map and break boulders that are in your way. Think of it like HMs from Pokemon. Once you learn Cut or Swim, then you are able to access and explore more of the world. It even has some Zelda-like puzzles. At first, they are simple and involve pulling levers or placing items on buttons to unlock chests and doors. Then they become more complicated and require you to use your various abilities to accomplish them. In terms of visuals, it has a super colorful landscape. The monster designs and names are creative and fun. I love the nostalgia vibes from the cassette tapes. You heal your monsters by rewinding the tape with a pencil. You add stickers to the tapes to add new moves. It's great. They also made some improvements for quality of life things. First, your characters level up, not your individual monsters. This makes it super seamless to swap out new monsters and not have to worry about them being lower leveled. The elemental type chart is available in your bag, meaning you can reference it during battles. You don't have to go on your phone and Google the answer. You can fast travel right away. You don't have to wait to get a flying HM from a gym. And this is very helpful since it's an open world map. They even improved the monster catching mechanics. You can't accidentally kill a monster while you're in the process of recording it. It will just go down to 1 HP instead of dying. This avoids the heartbreak of accidentally killing a rare monster you are so desperately trying to capture. I would highly recommend Cassette Beasts if you are interested in a Pokemon-like game with a challenging and rewarding new battle system. If you are looking for a game that merges Stardew Valley with Pokemon, then look no further. Moonstone Island is just that. You are an alchemist who leaves home and ventures off to Moonstone Island to complete your alchemy training and start your new life. The game combines monster taming and collecting with farming life sim with Zelda-inspired dungeons and temples. Basically, you battle monsters and solve puzzles and then fly back home to sleep in your bed every night. First, you will choose from 3 starter spirits. The battle system is different from Pokemon. It's a deck building strategy game. You have a deck of cards and energy to spend every turn. The card battling reminds me more of games like Slay the Spire. You can have up to 3 spirits in your party, and you will battle with all 3 at once. As your spirits level up, you can choose new cards to add to your deck. Much of the game involves exploring the world and traveling to different islands, with different biomes like water, fire, electric, and poison. It's an open world and the map is procedurally generated, which means every playthrough is different. One of my favorite parts was flying around and discovering new islands and different parts of the map. You discover dungeons and temples, which will help you earn upgrades and gather resources. Some dungeons are focused on puzzles, while others are focused more on battles. The art design takes inspiration from the pixel art of Stardew Valley. It has all the cozy aesthetics in the character and environment designs. I love it. I especially like the side quests you get from townsfolk where they ask you to catch a spirit for them. After completing their request, the spirit will follow the NPC around as their companion, and it's very cute. There is a lot to do in this game. Some days I was in the mood to explore, some days I focused on battles, and some I wanted to go dungeon crawling. I liked having the freedom to do whatever I wanted. Know that the game lets you ignore any aspects you have no interest in, meaning if you don't want to deal with farming crops or socializing with townsfolk, you can just ignore that part of the game. It does not affect your progression. Now, there were a few times I became annoyed with the typical farming mechanics. The lack of inventory space created a constant struggle of being forced to drop items or throw them away. Inventory management in video games always frustrates me. I want to have endless inventory space. Don't make me constantly have to shuffle around my mushrooms and copper bars, okay? I find farming in general to be a slog. But at least in Moonstone Island, you can use your alchemist wand to speed up a plant's growth. So if you need a crop right away for a quest, you can skip the waiting process. There's no need to wait
1 eternity later
to grow a cucumber and finally be able to proceed with the storyline. Moonstone Island does have some glitches and inefficiencies. It's not a perfect game, but I would definitely still recommend it. Do you want to go to a world where your job is to have dance battles with small creatures and plant their poop seeds in your farm? Then boy do I have the game for you. Ooblets is a quirky and lovable game where you move to the town of Badgetown, where an abandoned farm and house are conveniently waiting for you to move into. You are tasked with fixing up some projects around town and collecting cute little creatures called Ooblets that just really like to dance. You use your Ooblets to compete in card-based dance battles. Okay, I was very skeptical about the dance battles before I bought it. Then I tried it, and I loved it. It's so fun. To show you how fun it is, here's actual footage of me dancing to Ooblets music. Your goal is to reach a target point total before the other team does. Each turn, you draw cards to play dance moves and earn points. You have a certain number of beats you can use each turn. There's a decent amount of variety. The cards in your deck are based on the Ooblets you are battling with. Battles can range from 1v1 to 6v6, which keeps the card gameplay feeling fresh. You should know that the dance battles are quite easy. If you are looking for a difficult strategy game, you're not going to find it here. For this reason, I find this game more appealing to those who are attracted to the monster collecting part of Pokemon more than the monster battling part. Now, let's get into the poop seeds part. After beating an ooblet in a dance battle, they will offer you a seed so you can plant your own ooblet of that kind. If you say yes, the ooblet will squat down and poop out a seed and then hand it to you. I like how they made the process different from a Pokemon game where you simply capture and enslave monsters, and how they managed to tie it in with the farming aspect of the game. As you progress through the storyline, you will be tasked with visiting new towns to find their internet towers and turn the internet back on. Each area has a different aesthetic, with its own quests, new ooblets to battle and capture, and crops to purchase and grow. This game goes all in on the cozy theme, and I'm here for it. Cute dancing animals,
Yeah! Yeah!
collecting stickers, a town that rains glitter.
Woo-hoo!
The game is a collectathon, and I'm a sucker for collecting games. I realized I just love walking around and picking up mushrooms in video games. This game checks that box, especially because of how hilarious my character looks doing it. It's also a management game. You spend time managing your ooblets to accomplish tasks. I love the feeling of progression. It releases those sweet, sweet dopamines in my brain as I look at a long list of fully completed tasks.
Yes, please.
It's what makes this game so hard to put down. It also adds convenient improvements to the farming and life sim genre. The farming is faster, it doesn't feel as much like a slog, and eventually you can hand off the farming duties to your ooblets. And look how much they love it! They're dancing while tilling the earth! The shops are always open for you to buy and sell throughout the day, every day. This is an annoyance I have with other farming games. I don't like walking into a store to find out it's closed. These are NPCs we're talking about. They don't need days off, and I am far too impatient to wait an in-game day to sell my carrots. The only thing I wish they had was a bottomless watering can. No, I'm not done complaining about farming mechanics, because I don't like refilling my watering can every 30 seconds. It's 2024, give me a supernatural watering can already. I did have a few issues playing on the Nintendo Switch. There are some bugs and glitches throughout the game. There are also decently long loading times when switching between areas. If these things bother you, then I wouldn't recommend playing on the Nintendo Switch. Seriously, this is one of my all-time favorite games. Even with the bugs, it's incredible. Cassette Beasts and Moonstone Island both sell for $20, while Ooblets sells for $30. The Cassette Beasts main story is about 20 hours long, but if you want to complete all the side quests like me, the playtime will take closer to 50 hours. The same goes for Moonstone Island. It's about 30 hours to complete the main story, and closer to 50 hours to complete everything. Lastly, Ooblets' main story is about 30 hours long, but I played close to 70 hours, completing everything in the game. Cassette Beasts and Ooblets are both available on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and Steam. Moonstone Island is currently only available on Steam, but it will be released to the Nintendo Switch in spring of 2024, so expect to see it in the next few months. I hope you enjoyed these recommendations. Let me know in the comments section if you decide to buy any of these games and what you think. If you like this video, be sure to hit subscribe for more. See you on the next one!